Hey y'all, Rob the American here, and welcome to Chapter 3 of Tales of Manchester and of Watches. Today we're going to the library. Now I know we went to the library a couple weeks ago, but this time we are going to Manchester's own iconic John Rylands Library. And when I say this building is iconic, I'm not exaggerating. It is a wow. And speaking of wows, have a look at the dial on this watch. So I'm going to strap this on. I'm going to grab my coat because it's cold outside. And I hope y'all will join me and I'll share some stories about the library and about this watch. Y'all come on. All right, y'all. It's brisk morning. It's about 32 degrees Fahrenheit, which is close to freezing. I know that is 0 centigrade. We are ready to take on the day. And we are heading towards John Rylands Library through Lincoln Square. Now this square is called Lincoln Square for a specific reason. Let me flip this around and show you why. Alright, so you can see all the Christmas decorations up, but there is a unique statue in this square. I don't know if you can recognize that person from behind, but we will make our way around and show you who this person is. Let's have a look at the front of the statue. And here you have it. In the middle of Manchester is a statue of the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. And the reason there's a statue of Abraham Lincoln in the middle of Manchester is because during the mid-1800s, Manchester was a cotton manufacturing city. But the people of Manchester refused to take the cotton from the American southern states because the cotton was picked by slaves, much to their own hardship and loss of millions and millions of dollars and pounds of revenue. But the people of Manchester stood firm. So the statue was donated by some Americans in honor of the sacrifice of the good people of Manchester. As we make our way out of Lincoln Square, we're coming onto Deansgate Street, which is a main thoroughfare in Manchester. And just coming into view on our right-hand side is John Rylands Library. Have a look at that. That's insane. So this was opened in 1900, and John Rylands was a cotton industrialist. And when he died, his wife used their fortune to build this library for the people of Manchester. It's built in the neo-Gothic style. We'll get closer so you can see some of the cool features. It was the first public building in Manchester to be run completely by electricity, and it generated its own at the time. In the 1970s, it became part of the University of Manchester system, and it's still used as a working library. Look at some of the features on the front facade of that building. We'll come towards the original entrance. Look at that. Wow. They moved the entrance to the side in a more modern extension in the back. We'll make our way around the side so you can try to get the scope and scale of this building. All right, we're walking into the modern extension, which was added on in 2007. Let's have a wander on in. So again, you go into this modern section, which will take us into the original building. And here we go into the neo-Gothic original structure. And you will see these arches all throughout. It's very dark. This would be great for a suspenseful movie. But this is the real deal. All right, on our left will be the first. Now remember, this is a library, so you're going to see books throughout. All right, so we're entering the first of the library rooms with volumes of books. and it's on multi-story level. You can see that. Mrs. Rylands purchased quite a few private collections of books to add to theirs, which makes this library one of the top in the UK. Again, all the books. Oh, look, there's a card catalog. God, you don't see those anymore. I don't think kids today would even know what that was. Now we're going to go up this stairway. As we come up the grand staircase, we're going to be greeted by this amazing light fixture. Look at that. And then above, that ceiling. All right, we're getting ready to walk into the grand reading room. All right, get ready for this. Look at that. Stunning. That's just amazing. Attached to each of the sides are these study nooks, which we will have a seat in just a few minutes, and we'll set up and we'll have a look at this. All right, y'all, we've had a seat and at a table in one of the side nooks in the reading room, and you can see we are surrounded by all kinds of books and history. Now, today's watch is a Grand Seiko. Now, we've gone from Switzerland to Japan, and most people know Seiko. Everybody's heard of Seiko. They know watches. When I was a teenager, people had Seikos, and they are quality watches, no doubt about it. But what is Grand Seiko? What is that? I remember the first time somebody said it to me, and I had no idea. All I knew that they cost a lot more than regular Seiko. So I was educated on Grand Seiko, and some of the main differences is regular Seiko are mass-produced by machine, whereas Grand Seiko, they are assembled by hand, and that's one of the main differences of them, in addition to their unique cases, dials, and movements. So that's where you get the difference. All right, guys. So how this watch came into my consciousness. So over the summer, I was home visiting my family in Texas, and for the long 4th of July weekend. 4th of July, for those of you that don't know, is American Independence Day from Britain. I was home with my family, and we went to Austin for the holiday weekend. And on the Monday, which was the 3rd, I decided to sneak out to look at watches, which is something that wherever I go, I always do. I usually lie and say I'm doing something else, but there you go, living in shame. And I went over to my favorite Austin watch dealer. It was Corman's, and they were closed, I guess, for the long weekend. So got on my phone and found another one. It's a jeweler's called Benbridge. They're a chain. I'm not sure where they're based out of, in a local Austin shopping center called The Domain, which is like an upscale, fancy, trendy, hip shopping center. Surprised I was able to get in, and I went into Benbridge and was just wandering around, looking around, and they have Grand Seiko there, and I looked at the case and saw this in the case and was dazzled immediately. And the salesman asked me if I want to try it on. I said, yes, sir, please, may I? Put it on my wrist, and I was smitten. He said, you could see the big grin on my face. And he said, sir, if you want this today, it's all yours. And I said, I appreciate it. I said, I'm just traveling here with my family for vacation, and I don't want to get skinned alive for picking up another watch. So we laughed, and I thanked him, and I headed on out and finished my vacation. And when I came back to the UK, of course, I ended up going to one of the dealers and asked him about this watch, and as soon as I described it, he knew which one I was talking about, and pulled it out and said, "Would you put it on?" And again, I was still smitten. And he said, "This one is already been spoken for, but if you want one, I'll have it for you for tomorrow." So I figured I could wait one more day. So we made it happen. I said, "Oh, where's it coming from?" He said, "London, I think." "Oh, right, okay." And that's what happened. Now, there's a second part to this story also. Turns out it didn't come from London. There's another dealer that I like to go into that's in Greater Manchester, and they know me just from going in. You know, don't get the wrong idea. This is a hobby of mine, so I go into watch places all the time and just try and be friendly and talk to people, and I don't go in there and pick up a watch all the time. I just like to go and have a look. And so they know me. You know, when you a foreign, you stand out. So they know Rob the American. And this was, a couple weeks after I picked this up. So I went into this other place, and the salesman who knows me, he does like this, with kind of an angry look on his face. I thought, "Oh God, what have I done?" He looks at me, goes, "I know what you did." I said, "What?" He goes, "I know you picked up a Grand Seiko from someone else." And I had a big old smile on my face, and I said, "I'm busted. How did y'all find out?" I mean, the watch community is small. And he said that the watch you got came from their store. They had an order to transfer it. I said, "Well, that still doesn't explain how you knew it was me." And they said, "Oh, the Grand Seiko guy happened to come by and said something to the effect of, 'Oh, it's an American guy who bought it.'" And of course, that narrows down the pool of purchasers quite a bit. So we just laughed about it, and I said, is there no peace to the world? I mean, really, do I not have any privacy at all? So we laughed about it, and they're all super. But yeah, so be careful what you do. Anytime you try and sneak around, people always find out. Honesty is the way to go. So that's how this came into my possession. Okay, let's have a closer look at this dial. It's 40 millimeter with a very unique case. Look how angular that case is, with the sharp polished edges. That Zaratsu polishing, which Grand Seiko is known for. You've got people that train hundreds and hundreds of hours polishing watches, and they do it all by hand. But look how angular that case is. And when I got the case, when I picked up the watch, it kept reminding me of something, and you're going to think this is kind of random because of the sharp angles. But if you've ever been to Las Vegas and you go to the front of the MGM Grand Hotel, there's a giant lion that greets you, and it has these sharp, unique angles. And for whatever reason, this case reminds me of that. And these dials, the Grand Seiko dials, are the stars of the show by far, and this one is no exception. Have a look at that. Have a look at that unique dial. Grand Seiko calls this melting snow on Mt Iwate, which is a Japanese mountain. Look at that. You can see the texture. I personally think it reminds me of if you go outside at night on a full moon, and the moon is just shining bright, and you can see the different craters and features of the moon. To me, that is closer to what it looks like. Now, sometimes it looks blue, sometimes gray, sometimes white, and almost sometimes purple. You've got those sharp sword-style hands and a blued second hand with the date. Now, where this watch really shines is on the wrist. Have a look at that. That just is stunning. Absolutely stunning. Hey y'all, When I flip the watch over, you can actually see the movement as it has an exhibition case back. The heartbeat of the watch. How awesome is that? All right, y'all, that's it for me today. So thank you very much for joining me. If you like this video, be sure and give it a like. And if you enjoy the content of this channel, please subscribe and click the bell for notifications. I want to thank the good folks at John Rylands Library for giving me permission, and for Grand Seiko for making this awesome watch. And if you find yourself visiting Manchester, by all means put John Rylands Library on your visit list, because you have to see it in person. And for those Manx who have lived their whole life and never stepped foot in the John Rylands Library, shame on you. Support your city and get over here. All right, guys, y'all be well. We'll see you next time for another iconic Manchester building and another awesome watch. Hey, y'all. Welcome to chapter 3 of Tales of Manchester and of Watches. Today we're going back to Hey, y'all. Welcome to chapter 3 of Tales of Manchester and of Watches. I'm sick of myself. All right, y'all. We've had a seat. Is there a difference between Seiko and Grand Seiko? And the answer is yes. And I had to learn about it. I didn't know Grand Seiko.